Alright, that fixes that. So apparently they're still not ready, so I still got a bit of time um, to play with this. So this is a very rough go at it. So we'll give it a try later. We'll give it a try to see how it goes. Um, so welcome to the upper brackets of the first day of Clown Wars Asia. The Clown Wars Asia, obviously, it's something new, refresh. And they put a lot of effort into trying to get this time getting Clown Wars Asia working as intended, unlike the previous attempt that I have made, which is a failure. But regardless, I'm happy to be commentating here. And the main prize, we have luckily with Wargaming sponsoring the prizes this time around. And also, well, I chipped in $100 in terms of prize pool as well. So we got some prize pool going on. First season of Clown Wars Asia actually moving on, unlike the old times. So, um, basically, right now it's just gonna be the first day upper bracket. The winners of these would go to the second round, and then basically it goes on until I forgot the entire structure, but like it's just gonna be I think it's just gonna be a few groups. Yeah, it's gonna be a few groups. Teams will split into 4 groups. Um, that will be fighting each other to try to reach the next stage, and then in the end, the top teams would get some prizes. Um, so we 16 teams in the first stage. So we got 8 rooms here today. 16 teams fighting out, trying to get at least an upper hand into the next stage. So 4 teams per group, and then 2 teams will advance to the next stage. So today, tomorrow, and Friday would be the first group stage where the first, where we determine the 8 teams that advance to the next stage will be this week. Next week we'll be determining, we'll start determining what teams are going to the final stage, which is the 4-team round robin. So if, this Sunday, next Monday, next Tuesday, and next Wednesday would be the second group stage, where we're trying to understand. Well, we're trying to figure out which 4 teams advance to the next stage, and then next, and then next Friday and next Saturday would be the round. Next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be round robins stage of the top 4 teams, and the grand finals would be on June 22, which is a Tuesday, I believe. Yes, it's a Tuesday, and then the winners of that would go against a show match against E7 on the June 26th, which is a Saturday. With Wargaming sponsoring prizes this time around, things are looking pretty bright, I believe. So yeah, things are going pretty nice with how Wargaming sponsoring this this time around. But yeah, so the first matchup we'll be watching is UI versus NQE7. Both teams, well, have their own showing of brilliance in the past, with NQE7 being the Spring Season Challenges winners. And I think UI was also in. Not sure if UI was in the talking point of in the challenges. I believe they weren't in the challenges, but I could be wrong. Yeah, so they weren't in challenges. Which I believe so. Yes, so they weren't. I don't believe they were in the challengers this time around. So but previously UI was a pretty was an okay team in terms of being there in the top eight. It was they were there in the top eight in 2018, but after that they didn't have much of a showing. Obviously the members have changed a lot. Like I can't really recognize most of these players here. Do some of them do seem promising, like from first glance. Um, but definitely the times have changed. The players also have changed. So it's going to be a bit of a question whether they can actually perform to their fullest or not. But that NQE7 is now the I would say the clear favorites of this match, as they are basically the champions of the Asia server challenges for the spring 2021. So it's just something that they have to. Well, they're definitely show us something pretty decent this time around, and it's gonna be UI trying to upset, you know, um, not having much going on. Just seeing how whether they can upset or not. But hopefully there could be something. Um, we up for a show today. So we start in Canal. We're just gonna be waiting for the final players of UI to get ready, and then we'll hop in the first round. Um, so yeah, I'm here in my shiny Yo tank. I haven't got tier 10 yet. I've got tier 9 because I don't actually want to research all the way to tier 10 despite having the free XP for it. Like, I don't know, I'm very cheap. Like, I'm somehow having 1 million free XP is enough. But, that, jokes aside, we're into the first game, Canal, Supremacy, NQE7 versus UI. We'll see which one each of the teams is taking, and then we'll sort of go with the flow of the game. Bro, are you loading? I guess I should check the loading of the stream before I actually start doing it. I'll probably lose quite a bit of time. The team should probably restart it. Either way. Yes, they've already started. Exactly. So, apparently NQ7 already got a pretty decent advantage by capturing B very early on. While, apparently Kosovo is now in a slight trouble as he's now being stuck in this little ledge here, little dip here, but also Blanks is now being in a bit of trouble as he's coming under heavy fire and from UI, so he's gonna have to hide for a bit, otherwise he'll lose a bit more HP than he wanted to. But regardless of that happening, Nike still have a very solid hit point leads and cap point lead as they possess 2 caps as opposed to UI's 1 cap. You guys are making a little move as their T22 and Batchat 25T is moving onto their enemy spawn, in an effort to get more information about QE7's setup. But even despite that, most of the NQE7's tanks are spotted at the moment, 4 of them to be exact. So and Batchat 25T takes a decent chunk of hit points off, and the hit points is now getting even more in favor of NQE7. So UI now has to really try to figure out ways to break apart the defense, but Cos Alva goes down, and Happy Feet is now taking into C cap as GSM are now making him push into Horizon, and the Crown Wagon is now unloading into him. It's about time that he would go down, and he does go down without fail. I'm no idea what's happening with my screen right now. The lower part of the screen is funny. Okay, anyway. The hit point is still in the favor of NQ7. It looks like UI aren't able to do anything about NQ7 setup, and NQ7, like, even though their Vickers being pretty exposed, like, they're not in position to be dealing with him at all. So things are looking very dire for UI, and yeah, like at this stage they're even losing more hit points on the light tank. So they want mobility. That they really lose them a lot of hit points to begin with, but their mobility and now even losing more hit points are not doing much. So it definitely was a bit of a mistake to take a lot of mediums in this setup, especially against sort of an NQE7 sort of holy style of gameplay. It really is gonna choke you a lot. It's really suffocating in that situation, and once they get cap advantage, you can't, especially when you have mobility, it's really suffocating in the to the in a sense where you can't actually push out at all, because if you do that, your mediums would get abused like that and start losing hit points left, right, and center. And it'll be very, very hard to break the stalemate as well. And AQ7 is now just cleaning up as they approach 1,000 cap points. So the first round is UI's loss. We can take a look at the battle results. Let's see if it works. It does not work, does it? Did I miss something? All right, I'll give you a look later. But let's take a look into you know, how UI lost that round. I feel like we could actually use a bit of explanation for those who aren't that aware of um the situation right there. Um, okay, I can't even get this going. This is a bit frustrating here, I guess. It's actually very frustrating, not gonna lie. Well, I guess we have to go on. We have the shots to move on, and we see how we go. Okay, that didn't work. That's a bummer. Was expecting it to work properly. But NQE7 now gets the first round. As I weren't able to do much about what was happening into that game. And yeah, like it's not really like there's not really much UI could really do in that situation in a sense, because they took very light mobility, and the thing was it wasn't favoring them at all, because NQSN is playing very lockdownish. So that in a sense, that basically made NQSN very, very dangerous to face, because they play very suffocating gameplay. So that meant that UI can't do anything about what NQ7 was doing. So now we load in pretty quick. It's time for the second round. Okay, so I said UI is contesting B very early on, but at the same time, NQE7 is also contesting C, and they also appears to be we were saying B in the, and they actually followed the reset, so UI is actually not going to get B cap anytime soon. That's the disadvantage of getting of capping B like that, is that you'll be very, very exposed. But at this stage, UI is actually getting A cap as well. But the hit point disadvantage that arises from bringing triple medium, it's gonna be very apparent if UI does not actually get the significant advantage at this stage. by the looks of it, E7 AQ7 might actually get to keep the cap advantage, and couple of the hit point advantage. UI has to push in once again. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be the same suffocating gameplay from NQE7 as the mobility is on the UI side, not on NQE7 side. So they can all just set up, crossfire, hold on, and wait for UI just to push in with very light mobility and stuff. And it's gonna be very challenging for UI to pull out the same thing once again as they failed last round. We gotta remember that they failed once already. Do they now have a better plan this time around, or sort of cancel what NQE7 are doing, or are they actually just gonna be doing the same thing and letting the mobility take all the hit points damage and then get deleted? There's gonna be like the sort of like the key. There's sort of like gonna be a key. Yeah, they won't be pushing because their guys are behind in cap points. So it all depends on whether the mobility is gonna be any use while their team pushes either cap. But at this stage, it looks like it might be better to push off C cap, as Cos Alva and Sir Dr. Falcon are now sort of posturing towards that C cap. They aren't spotted though. I don't think they are ever spotted just yet, but they are posturing towards that C cap. If they need to do a cap stop last second. Honestly, the cap lead is actually very slightly in favor, only very slightly in favor of E7. I think E7. So you guys can actually just step on it for like probably 2 or 3 seconds, and it will go back to UI's favor. But it's really tough though, because they have mobility that can't take a heat beating, and it's just E5's are the closest tank going into caps, so it's gonna be pretty tough. Hunky Warden is now making a play, but this is gonna be very dangerous as he's the only light tank in this area. And yeah, it's gonna be pretty tough. But as we can see, Lancelot and Hori-san is now going back to their spawn. They're now trying to clear out Happy Feet, just making sure he's not being annoying in that side. So apparently the Vic is also going to be rotating as well. But at this stage, Happy Feet is already out there. And they keep waiting at this stage. It's just going to be, I would say, a bit too late. It could be. Oh, but they're spotted doing the crossing. This is big hits going into Hori-san in the 140. And Happy Feet is now in a very strong position. He's gonna get pushed, but it's gonna sacrifice a lot from UI to push him, because he's now in a spot where only one tank can shoot him. So there's really nothing Hori-san can do. He's already very low. Happy Feet is now playing this situation excellently. And Hunky Warren needs to get in ASAP, otherwise their team will actually lose the game by losing 140 right there. So yeah, things need to be done. Oh no! Yeah, NQ7 actually gets the game by killing Hori-san. I'm not sure what the Vickers was doing. He was supposed to be helping his medium forces. I wonder what happened there. He just left the last second and his team just died for free. And there's this stage, like, one kill really makes a lot of difference. I am not sure what happened. I am actually not sure what happened. This is... I think there's a blunder or some... There's actually some interesting mistake coming out from E7, yeah. But hopefully this time we have our trusty alright. Okay, so we got the instant replay. At this stage, um, it was against C very early on. NQE7 actually got the cap lead by putting double Crown Bargains into B resetting position. That's actually very, very strong in terms of getting the cap advantage for NQE7, because that reset move basically meant that UI has to make the move, and it looks like that, and they did make an effort in the middle game trying to take out Happy Feet, but the Vickers was never in the fight the entire game, and as we can see, the Vickers actually left very, very in the last second before Happy Feet went down. That could actually have turned the game in favor of UI, but the Vickers didn't commit, so the game went to NQE7's way, and that's pretty unfortunate, to be honest, because that could have easily went UI's way if they played it slightly more clever, in like just that slightly more clever. Doesn't have to be a godlike play. It just has to be slightly smarter play from their mediums, because once Happy Feet goes down, they don't have to actually worry too much about their hit points. So you have to turtle back, turtle up, and then just make sure like even if Horisang does nothing and hides, as long as the Vickers and the T22 does a carry and kills Happy Feet, it would actually have been UI's win the entire day. I feel like that's basically what it was down to. It was down to the Vickers' inability to act on a potential kill, and him basically being out of the game the entire game until the very end. And even in the very end, he was out of the game significantly as well. Like, I feel like he was never in the game the entire to begin with, and it actually hurt UI's chances right there to sort of try to pull into the try to come out on top of the games. So we're going into Castilla. Is now match point for NQE7. UI would now have to make sure they win the next 2 rounds if they want to have a chance at tiebreaker. But it doesn't seem likely at this stage, as it seems that they want to bring a lot of out of meta gameplay, and in this case they bring double TDs, which actually nobody in Asia actually plays right now. And I actually even doubt whether any teams in Asia, any teams in comp actually plays double TDs anymore, because it's actually this is a bit of an old meta, but I'm interested to see if UI is able to get it work. That's some big hit into Slimy Salmon. It was a big hit from the grill. But actually, the hit point advantage is slightly in the favor of NQE7, but it starts to bleed. Though UI got the cap advantage, so now it's a bit of a sticky situation for NQE7, because now having the grills and the 268 meant that UI could sort of sit back a bit more relaxed, and try to farm off the push from NQE7. But it doesn't seem like UI is fully prepared for what Happy Feet is doing. And Cost Alpha seems to be in a small, tiny bit of trouble, as he now isolated, and the team and NQ7 is now pushing onto him, and his shots are missing, so things are not going well for him. But at the same time, Tank Pro is already down, and things are not looking good for Cost Alpha and co. He has to really try to buy as much time possible, not trying to poke for the shot. He did poke for the shot, and that cost his life. Slimy Salmon is about to go down. That would be 1 for 1. That would be 2 for 1 trade, but that's still gonna be a bit painful for UI to swallow, as they're losing map control in their spawn. That really meant that Happy Feet is now taking a lot of map control into their spawn, and the 2 TDs who are meant to be the farmers are now in trouble. Dr. Sir Falcon is also gone down, so now 2 for 2 trade, and UI's T's are now in a very, very sticky situation. And there's really not much hit point sharing going on, as he said. They're now trying to focus on legacy, But the Vic is now very, very low. They can also take down blanks in the Crown Wagon, but it doesn't seem like they're actually working on to doing that. That could have been a chance from the Vickers, but he didn't actually try capitalizing on it. So that would be a very, very sticky situation for him as well. Legacy goes down, and Blanks is supposed to go down right now. Blanks goes down as well. So now there's a 4-on-3. 2x8 goes down as well. It's gonna be the UI's grill. It's gonna be down very, very soon. If you can take down Happy Feet with him, that's gonna be like the best case scenario. But it doesn't seem like so because Taipei is now shooting for him, and he does go down without a proper trade. But Happy Feet and Holy Water is now low, so this might actually still be possible for UI to turn it back, as it's now a 2 vs 3 in favor of UI. Cap points in the favor of UI as well. Hit points in the favor of UI as well. It's now basically UI's game to lose. And they're also capping C, so NQ7 have to do something quick. And if they don't do anything quick, it's gonna be UI's game. So UI now reaches 800 cap points. Happy Feet is now trying to steal back cap A, but it's gonna be a bit too late, as and I highly doubt about the effort because UI already has a lot of cap point, and Taipei is now also in a slightly sticky situation as well. Not necessarily in crossfire, but now he's in the crossfire. So now this game's definitely going in the favor of UI. So props to UI for getting at least 1 point. So yeah, here we go. We finally got the thing working. Nice. So as we can see, like the UI guys did pretty nice. Like most of their teammates hit a lot of shots. You know, they did their job properly, I would say. There wasn't, like, especially Horu-san in the grill. He did 5k damage in that game. That proves, like, once UI was establishing a cap advantage, their TDs thrived a lot. And I mean a lot. As you can see, 5k from the grill. I think 3k, 3.9k combined from the 2x8 as well. It's just all around brilliance from. I think it wasn't the grill. Okay, the 2x8 did, like, I'm actually not sure which one is 2x8. The 2x8 was alright. The 2x8 was him. So it did not bad. Like, they did alright. Like, but the grill proved to be a very, very strong contender in that game. And hitting all of his shots, penning all of his shots that he hit. Like that's a significant advantage for UIs to be playing with. And obviously having a teammate, having a teammate that, carries you in that situation, it's very, very okay. So we can't see how UI won that, but it was basically UI going very aggressive early on and getting the cap advantage, and forcing NQ7's hand onto, pushing onto a very unfavorable situation where Hori-san, as we can see, farmed a lot of it, paying all of his shots, and just make a very, very big impact in general to the game's outcome. So props to him, even though 2x8 didn't contribute much. It was a pretty valiant attempt from UI in that situation. Um, so yeah, now we go back into Castilla. Still match point to E7 NQ E7. And this time it seems like UI wants to go for a heavy C approach. They might lose cap advantage over that as NQ7 is going for A instead, and also because of mostly it doesn't seem like they're going for a cap play, more like they're going for a rush play. That seems to be the case. So UI is not going to be capping, or are they? They're actually going to be capping with one tank. Well, they try to be getting some map control in this situation, but they're now in a slight crossfire, so things are gonna be a bit sticky for UI as they're now stuck here in the crossfire, and NQ7's forces are actually already ready to prepare to punish UI's movement. Cost Alpha is now getting shot from all angles as he was trying to cap in the open. He's now down to a two or three shot, and he's really vulnerable, same as his team. And it doesn't seem like they have any solution to the situation they're currently in. And this could be very, very dangerous because once they're stuck here and they can't do anything, NQ7 can start being a lot suffocating and start wrap around and start doing a lot of damaging blows, as you can see Taipei is doing. He's now doing into Kosalva and slowly whittling him down. And Kosalva should be down in no time. Oh, but Holy Water goes down first. Kosalva goes down very soon later. But at this stage, I would still rate UI as in a very, very disadvantaged position, as now they're being surrounded in the crossfire, and they don't have anything to really push on. They're now trying to push on the Taipei in the E5, but NQ7 are making a counter push onto the E5s. Starting reactive armor will not really help in this case, as both teams really does have that reactive armor. And they can't really, and UI is not really in the, well, they now killed Taipei, so they now got a bit of a tank advantage, but hit point advantage still in the favor of NQ E7. They might want to try to look into taking down Happy Feet ASAP. If they can take down Happy Feet, that might help a bit into killing Slimy Salmon and the other two E5s, and the E5 and the Crown. So that Slimy Salmon does go down, and hit point now go back into UI's favor. So now Hori-san is now the focus of NQ7. He does go down. The Crown Wagon from UI is very low. The Vic is also going pretty low. So hit point is now neck and neck, going hit forwards and backwards. Apparently Legacy is now the focus. He does go down. Lancelot is now trying to frontally fight Blanks in the E5. Tank Pro needs to get in the fight. I feel like he's gonna get into the fight very soon, and Blanks need to try to you know, survive as long as possible. So his Vic can actually farm a bit, but he does go down without a trade. So Tank Pro is gonna be 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4 in this situation. Likely a second point going to UI's favor. I was actually expecting NQ7's perform slightly better in that situation. As they actually have UI in the very in a limbo situation. Like basically, they caught UI pants down, and it was really NQ7's game to lose. But it turns out NQ7 threw quite a bit in terms of the tank advantage early on. That basically opened up a path for UI to come back into this game. So congratulations, UI, taking back to 2-2. Basically taking this game into a tiebreaker, and we're now going to a tiebreaker match, in New Bay, to see how it goes, which team would take. As we can see in this round, even though the heroics of Sir Dr. Falcon in the Crown Wagon, like everybody in UI was doing their own job, except probably Cost Alva, as he got caught a bit early on. But other than that, I feel like most of the other teammates pulled their own weight. But looking at NQ7's side, Holy Water gone down very, very early, only doing one shot. even bouncing one shot in the process, that wasn't really desirable in any shape or form. And really, at this state, at this level, you want to be getting at least like two more shots in before you die, especially like you don't want to really be going down this early, especially before a vulnerable tank in the open goes down of UI and Kosalva. Like that really paved the way um, for for a UI to come back in. So Kosalva did get caught out in the open, like, but I have no idea how Holy Water get caught out though. It's actually very interesting to see how it got caught out. Um, so he's now bleeding. So he's actually in the open, getting caught by every tank of UI, I believe. So he did get screwed quite a bit by UI's clipping. So Holy Water does go down before Cos Alva, and that was really, I would say, a pretty unfavorable trade for UI. As that case, as I said, that basically bought UI the game back because, as you can see, UI is actually in the crossfire in a very dire situation. They needed something going their way, and that kill onto Holy Water was exactly what they needed. They needed a tank free, and they needed a free kill, and that was the free kill that that NQE7 gave them, and that gave them the that was the game. That was the chance. That was the opportunity you needed to come back into that game. And that was a really, I would say, risky gambling that there was a free kill up for grabs in the form of Holy Water. So that gamble sort of worked out in the end for them, but I would say that shouldn't even be the case to begin with. So now we're going to New Bay, a tiebreaker map. Whoever wins this will be taking this series and advancing to the next round. So this seems like King SA and the Crown Dragons with AFK. He's come back already. So here we go. UI looks to be posturing towards more of an A play. If I'm looking at it correctly. While AQ7 is also doing slightly similar. So both teams gonna clash at A side very soon. So I guess what's gonna make a difference here is gonna be whether AQ7's mouse gonna be a significant factor in this bridge fight, and whether UI's 50Bs are able to get the timing correctly and get an early advantage as they're pushing down from below. They shouldn't be capping. Okay, that basically gave it away already. I feel like that's a bad move from Cost Alpha, as that basically gave away the push from the 50Bs. And he's going heads in. And even the E5s are not there yet. That's gonna be proved to be a very big mistake, as he just came out. But UI's E5s are here, but I believe that might be a slightly unfavorable trade for UI, as one of the 50Bs already went down. The second 50B is also low. This is very unfavorable for UI in the grand scheme of things, as 3 E5 are now stuck up the bridge trying to go down. I feel like the timing of the push was really screwed up from UI's side. It should be timed so that the E5s and the 50Bs arrive at the same time. So the E5s are going to be taking some pressure off the 50Bs, so that the 50Bs aren't taking all the hits and then going down so early. This game is basically in NQE7's favor already. So NQE7 should be going to advance to the next stage. And I feel like UI pushed the button a bit too far. They pushed the button a bit too far, as it's not really feasible to be doing that, in my opinion. It's basically a top not appearing at that situation. I'll have to show you guys a replay, because that not showing up when your 50Bs are already there, that was really fatal. Because that meant the 50Bs took all the hits. The 50Bs got bled from full health to one shot, even dying within 20 seconds, just because their E5 didn't show up. And by the time the E5 show up, the 50Bs are already dead. And like, that's not how you want your game to go, right? Like, no matter what, like that's not how you want your game to go. So that's gonna be 3-2 in the favor of NQE7, and NQE7 would advance to the next stage of the tournament. So looking at the battle results, as you can see, the two 50Bs, so Dr. Falcon, I believe, and Cost Alpha. Well, Cost Alpha did a bit more. Like Cost Alpha did a bit more as he was actually just there, but like as you can see, Sir Falcon, he did only 2 shots of damage. Even he landed all 3 shots. Probably one of them was a track, but better than that, like he instantly died because he was under so much crossfire from E7. And looking at the E5s, like they came in pretty late. So even though they can get a bit more damage done, it was really not worth it at that stage, as NQ7 basically took down 2 tanks of UI. At that situation, like it's really not feasible for like it's not feasible for UI anymore to be playing that game, because they lost 2 of their clippers, and that's basically the entire game, the entire force gone. And then basically the rest of the team can't really contribute much, unless you're talking about in the form of how the other players in the team were just taking up the hits after the 50Bs are dead. But yeah, but take a look at the replays. So at the start, like it looks all right to me, and how UI wants to do this. I know that it looks very clear what the game plan was, is that the 50Bs go below the bridge, come behind the crown wagons on the right side, clip them, while at the same time the E5s at the top push. So you spread your risk and make sure you don't have one tank taking all the hits. So but at this stage, Cost Alpha went so quick into the game, that is, he actually took all the hits for it. As you can see, he took 1, 2, 3, and he could take another 3 just by staying a bit longer. But Sir Dr. Falcon went even more into it, and he instantly just got deleted for it. So 250Bs got deleted for 1 tank trade. That, and then your 3rd tank is also low as well. So take a look at this. This is actually a perfect demonstration. You got 3 tanks incapacitated, but you only took down 1 tank. That is not a favorable trade in any shape or form. That's already a game lost for UI when that happens. Like, that was it. So yeah, like that was basically the throw, I would say. There's really not much you can say about it other than it's a throw. Like it is a throw, you know. So yeah, like congratulations to, I would say it was a pretty nice game from NQ7, showcasing what they can do after the 2 losses in Castilla. But like at the same time, I feel like UI shouldn't have won some of those games, trying to bet onto some of those clutchy situations, some risky bets, that betting the enemy makes a major mistake. Like when your assumption, when your game winning condition is enemy making major mistakes, it's not gonna look pretty when it does not go your way. So So yeah, I'll be taking a quick water break. My throat is not feeling well today, apparently. Um, and I'll be back probably in 5 or 10 minutes and see how we go. Alright, I'm back. So this second round we'll be watching would be NQE7 versus DST. Um, it's gonna be a second upper bracket match. Um, it would be. Let me take a look. Let me take a peek. It would be in the maps Hellas, Native Frontier, and Rockfield. Um, it means these two teams just won their own matchup just then, which was NQ7 winning UI 3-2, DST winning GB 3-0. This is actually surprising. They win GB 3-0. So this is gonna be an interesting matchup as we see how these two teams matched up. NQ7 definitely dropped the ball a bit here and there in the last game, but not sure. Okay, DST seems to be a match of Japanese clans from what I'm seeing right now. So having that going for them would actually be pretty interesting to begin with. But 3-0ing GV, that is something that I'm not expecting to see today. So I'm definitely gonna be excited to see how this game goes because I don't see them gonna be clean sweeping NQE7, but it could also be the case that they just get clean sweep E7. I never know, you know. If somebody just seen the other games, could let me know whether how they clean swept it because he clean swept it, like because it's actually surprising how they did it. Wait, this is actually even streamed that last game. I think not. Let me double check. Chivas DST. Okay, so Wild Ones Happy streamed that game, so it might actually be a good idea to check out Wild Ones Happy's games just then. So you know, just understanding that. So having a good match of Japanese players together, it looks like this Japanese team is pretty competitive. I think I see a few recognizable names. Nahapees, King Wars. Like I've seen some recognizable names in this team, but it does not resemble anything that is, how would I say it? Um, I wouldn't say championship winning. Yeah, I wouldn't. I would say championship winning. Yeah. So it does feel like they're missing. Like I'm not sure how they 3-0'd GV, but yeah. So So the match is about to start soon. You're just gonna be waiting for the teams to pick their own tanks. But this seems like this is gonna be a pretty interesting lineup, matchup to be witnessing. So yeah, I'm gonna be pretty interested to see how this goes. Should be able to get some battle pass done today, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I'll do some later. Yeah, I'll get some done later. Otherwise, it seems like we might have our games underway very, very soon, as DST is almost fully readied up. So, both teams are fully ready. We'll have ourselves a game right away, as we are about to go get the games in the way. Hellas! Interesting map. I personally like it as a pretty good tournament map, but some would say this map is actually pretty bad. I would agree as well in some cases. But here we go nonetheless. We'll be going to the first game, DST vs NQE7. As we can see, NQE7 is posturing more towards a C play. As we can see Legacy here in the Crown Wagon going to C cap. There's also really the Crown Wagon. But it seems like DST does not want to contest E at all. Looks like they're actually going for a very, very aggressive push onto A, B, and the Vickers Light and Tank Pro might actually get caught if you don't if he's not careful. He does seem to get out of dodge for the time being, but he might actually take one or two hits as he leave. He almost took one hit. He got unscathed, but DST now gets 2 caps, while NQ7 only gets 1. So the cap advantage is going to be strongly in the favor of DST. So note, both teams haven't taken any hit points. Let's note that, which is a good thing because that means that NQ7 could be able to make a move into DST, but that also means that DST is now more healthier, you know, in dealing with a push that's coming in their way. So the first blood goes to E7 having opening little damage onto Crown Wagon. And it seems that DST is now bleeding a bit. They're in a bit of a sticky situation as their Crown Wagon and the Ice Falls is now being bled just that tiny bit. They're not being forced out of their superior positioning. I wouldn't say superior, but they're forced out into the farmy positionings, and that opens up a bit of a chance for NQ7 to pry open a path to sort of force retake AB, I guess. But that would depend only on how fast they do this, because time is ticking, as DST is already at 800 cap points. Slimy Salmon goes in. He could probably be a bait, but it doesn't seem like he's gonna be ready for consequences that are gonna be collapsing into him. NQ7 can't really be wasting time capping now, as DST now collapsing into Slimy Salmon. Slimy Salmon's gonna go down very soon. He's now going down. It's a one shot now. Somebody has put one more shot into him. The Crown Wagon will put in one shot into him. He's going down. 2 caps for E7, but the cap points heavily in the favor of DST. One and only in the E5 is now also going to go down as well. Kang Wars goes down. Is a one for one trade for in the favor of E7 a bit in terms of hit points, but cap points is now heavily in the favor of DST. So that one only also goes down. So that's gonna be a 2-1 trade. It doesn't seem like they're able. So now 2-2 trade. Now NQ7 is also taking the A cap. That means that the cap points will stop ticking for DST. But if he goes down, that's gonna be a 2-3 trade in favor of DST. cap point is still ticking for DST as the cap stop was not able to be completed, and all the tanks, most of the tanks of AQ7 is now being stuck in this tank in this ditch down here. Although they actually managed to get a trade down onto Crownwagen, into I think E5. So now it's a 3-3 trade, 4-3 trade in favor of DST. Trades are now in favor of DST. It seems like doesn't seem like the Crownwagen. Yeah, Crownwagen IS4 won't be able to do much as DST reaches 1,000 cap points. First round goes to DST. That was really tense, honestly, because of of how things went. NQ7 did the right thing by bleeding a bit of DST before going in, but I believe the issue there was I think it was Slimy Salmon, and one and only basically went in and became the focus of the entire DST team. That basically meant DST just went in, took 2 kills, and NQ7 has to fight for the trades, and that was not easy by any shape or form, because that really meant that like it's really hard to fight for trades right there. It's it's really hard to fight for a trade, basically because of mainly because of how I would say how important how DST held that was, I would say, a bit of a pure brilliance moment there. Like they took AB cap, and they see the opportunity of a 2 overextended tank. That was basically opportunity that you would miss if you don't take advantage of it. So DST basically took full advantage of AQE7's mistake, and I feel like NQE7 shouldn't make that sort of mistake at that stage, because they clearly have their main team posturing for B cap stop. They don't really need anybody in this side to do anything. All they need to do in this side was to take hold of the map control and keep the crossfire in check. And Slimy Salmon, by doing that, basically broke the crossfire on his own and allowed the entirety of DST to collapse onto him. As you can see, all of DST see that coming, see opportunity, and instantly went for it, like a bunch of mobs flying into a lamp. So there's no chance for the Slimy Salmon to survive that at all. And the same goes for one and only. And that basically meant NQ7 is working with sort of a 2 tank deficit, as they have to crawl a lot to go for the tank, to go for the trades. And I feel like that was where NQE7 sort of dropped the ball right there. So first round goes to DST, and we'll be going back into the second round again. Hellas again, and let's see if DST is able to replicate the same success, and whether NQE7 is able to sort of fix what they sort of screwed up the last round, because I feel like that is really major if you're having things like that being screwed up a bit, you know. So now it seems like DST this time is more posturing towards the C side, as opposed to last time they're doing for AB. So but it also looks like NQE7 is also looking towards a C side gameplay. So both teams would probably clash onto C side very early on. But looking at the lineup, NQE7 might have a slight disadvantage as a holding force, but in pushing force, I feel like NQ7 might have a slightly upper hand in that side, as they have 3 tank as opposed to 4 tanks of NQ7. One only takes a small hit, but that wouldn't be that significant in terms of the gameplay. So Blanks is now trying to contest C. NQ7 is now down in cap points, as DST gets B cap a bit slightly earlier than NQ7 gets A. But that shouldn't be much of a that shouldn't affect much of how this game would progress, as both teams are heavily stacked onto the seaside cap, and a push could happen anytime soon as the team C opportunity arises. At this stage, both teams trade a bit of HP. NQ7 bled a bit more, but doesn't seem like yeah, but it doesn't seem like there's much really going on. You know. So, it's gonna be a bit of a stalemate going on. So we should probably take a look into how the mobilities of NQE7 is gonna deal, and both mobilities play this game, because at this stage it's really up to mobility to find out what the enemy mobility is doing, and so potentially try to get their hands on another cap. Well, not for free, but somewhat doing something, you know. So Tank Pro and the Vickers Light and the enemy is not spotting each other. They aren't able to spot each other. Doesn't seem like it. So things is gonna go into stalemate still for a bit more, but hopefully both teams figure out what they have to do soon. Tank Pro gets spotted. It's gonna be a small trade going on between Tank Pro and the Vickers Light of DST. But other than that, things are going alright. I believe things are still going pretty stalemate in the other side, as usual, because at this stage, the heavy tanks should really be sitting tight and let the mediums sort of take the fights and see how they can win. But at this stage, Tank Pro doesn't seem like he's going to be winning that fight if he goes straight in head on. So he might need a bit of help in the form of a like a Crown Wagon or something like that. So things are gonna go a bit slowly, but at least right now, even the medium flank is a bit in the stalemate flank. But it does seem like NQE7 is now posturing for a full push on the C side. As you can see, 6 tanks are being stacked in this side. So it seems like it's the Crown Wagon that's initiating the push. So it seems like they want to focus on not Peas, which I feel like is alright. It's a pretty good call, as he's really isolated. Is a tank isolated. Happy Feet is also good. Happy Feet is likely going to be traded for this one kill. It's gonna be whether NQ7's focus fire is up on par, as whether they can actually capitalize on more kills or not. They lose 2 tanks. Kengwo is now low. They could potentially take that kill very quickly. They do take that kill very quickly. And now it's a 2-for-2 trade hit points advantage in the favor of DST by 1K, around 1K. NQ7 is also capping C cap, and the trades are still very even. Seems like head point advantage is still in the favor of DST, but the cap point is now in favor of NQE7. If the trades keep going on, it's gonna be NQE7's game, as they have slightly better focus fire in this regard, and most of the tanks are still very healthy. So yeah, NQE7 actually did very good for this push, as they had a 6 tank push. And I don't think DST actually have. I don't think DST actually have all 6 of the tanks. They only have 5 tanks at the C side. That explains, actually even 4, thoroughly in the fight. That explains why the first raid came in very quickly, but the later trades can't go in the favor of NQ7. That's because all 6 tanks of NQ's wait a fucking second. How did NQ7 lose this? I was way too focused on saying how the push was good from NQ7, but they actually threw away that tank advantage. This is something that shouldn't happen any time of the day. What happened there? So Tank Pro did die, but what happened? Wait a second, what happened? Yeah, what actually happened? So DST getting 2-0. Whoa, wait a second. Wait a second, guys. Wait a second. Let's give it a look. Like the stalemate, everything up to the stalemate part is really standard stuff. NQ7 initiating the push is actually very nice. They even get the hit point lead. Let's take a look. Like even get the hit point lead back with that focus fire of what they have. So right now they took one more tank down, one trade come back in, and they instantly take down the crown very quickly with DPM, superior DPM. So at this stage, like it feels like it's E7 and Q7's game to lose because they got, let's see, at this stage they got 4 tanks in healthy state while DST got 3 tanks left. So hit point advantage is in the favor of NQE7, tank advantage on NQE7, counter advantage on NQE7. There's really no point of them throwing this away. Like this 1k point advantage in favor of NQE7, but how did they throw this away? Oh, so they're not starting shooting different targets, while DST still hold on their focus fire. So they lost 1 tank. That's still alright. What happened afterwards? What's happening with the E5s? So they're not killing the Crown Wagon, what are they doing then? This is obvious. This is actually a big throw from NQE7. They actually threw that game. I actually can't imagine how they threw that game. This is actually something else, I would say. I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked by this happening. I'm actually shocked. Anyway, it's back. It's 2-0 in the favor of DST. And we're going into the next map, which is our Neo Frontier, which would hopefully be which would hopefully be it's gonna be match point for DST, and I hope NQ7 at least can make a fight out of it, because this is actually not supposed to happen for NQ7. They had the hit point advantage, they got the tank advantage, they got the counter advantage, got everything in their way, and they still managed to sort of throw that late game situation with the heroics of the Vicus Light from DST. So that shouldn't really be happening. That's really a big drop of the ball from NQE7 there. Two games in a row, drop of the ball. That is really not something that you would want to see from your team. So yeah, really, wake up. You gotta actually be fighting this game. So match point for DST. If they can actually complete this this sweep, 3-0 sweep, there's gonna be some interesting scenes going on to the Clan Wars Asia this time around. So yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look at how this will go. So it looks like DST is playing more spread out. They're putting 1 tank on the T platform here. They're putting a few tanks into B platform, which is pretty standard stuff, and 3 up to the C side. Like pretty standard spread, but AQ7 seems to be going for a very quick A spread. That means that they want to be catching something off guard, but it doesn't seem like there's anything for DST to catch off guard. Like even the Crown Wagon is pretty well positioned from DST to punish A cap, so there's really no gaps for NQE7 to be punishing. Blank's missing 2 shots. That would be slightly problematic if NQC decide to go for a play right away. The same goes for Taipei, missing a few shots here and there. Not looking good as he's out, actually stuck a bit. But yeah, like things are not looking too well for NQ7 in the early game, as they lost a lot of hit points already. One and only now pushing up towards the B platform of DST. Trying to trade with a mouse unsuccessfully, bleeding even more hit points in the process. This is actually looking very, very terrible for NQE7, as they are now in a 3k hit point advantage before the fight even began. And their EVAs are already getting pushed. So this is literally worst case scenario for NQE7, as their team is already getting pummeled and potentially losing the first time before DST losing the first time. Now the hit points are now firmly in favor of DST, as trade is still going in favor of DST. 3-1 trade. There was no responding from NQE7. Only one tank responding, but like at this stage, I feel like DST is firmly is a firm favor of this round, as they're coming up and coming on top in trades, coming on top in the gameplay wise. They weren't able to connect some of the shots, which is gonna be very fatal. Slimy Simon takes a big chunk of hit points off and goes out instantly. 4k hit points in the favor, 5k hit points in the favor of DST, and this is certainly gonna be in the favor of DST. This is gonna be 3-0 sweep. Forget what I just said at the start. This is gonna be 3-0 sweep, and very clearly NQ7 is sleeping on the job. They let the first two games, they were in clear advantage. They had the reads correctly, and they managed to lose those two games. And this one was clearly just NQ7 losing all the trades from start to finish. They were never in control of the game the entire time. They were losing all. They were not even paying their shots. They're losing. They're missing shots. They're clearly not in control of the game at all. And you can see from the games, like it was just basically all DST the entire day. In the end, DST did 7k more damage than NQ7. That is really telling in itself. And just looking at this game, like look at the pen ratios of NQ7. It's actually pretty poor compared to DST. Look at that. That's literally perfect all across the board. Like if you just look at the penetration, pen hit ratio, it's clearly DST winning. Only one tank dropping one shot, and every single other tank penned every single shot they hit. Like that's just pure brilliance. I can't say anything else. And then basically losing the trades, losing the crossfires. Even though you have better focus fire as a team, you would actually lose out on the games more often than not, because once you're losing the focus fire, you basically screwed. You can't come back from a lose from focus fire, regardless of how you want to say it. Like that was a big drop of the ball from NQ7 to be missing all those shots like that. Like that at this level, you would get punished that hard just by missing these shots here and there. And that's just like, I wouldn't say even the basic shots. Like they're trying to go for shots that, like, the Crownwagon shots could have easily hit. Like, how are they missing those shots? I don't get it. Like, how? Yeah, how? So yeah, it's a bit of a meme to say the least. But at least we witnessed it, the 3-0 sweep from DST. And it was, I would say, pretty brilliant, honestly. Pretty brilliantly played. Like all the crossfires, like all the early bleeds from DST were on point. And it was just all set up to punish NQE7 with all the moves they were doing very early on. So even if you see, so even if you take a look, it was DST playing very spread out onto B and C, and very little presence on A, but they got perfect crossfire into the tanks pushing from A for NQE7, and that basically was the nail in the coffin. Like missing these few shots at the start was fine. I feel like that wasn't the fatal part, but I feel like the nail in the coffin right there was not getting A cap, and then having I feel like the nail in the coffin was this part, having the E5s being super isolated in the game. So as you can see, one and only and the other E5 are now pushing below. That is an alarming sign. When you have a hit point disadvantage, you don't have to cap, you don't have to set, you don't have the crown wagons taking space. You literally have your only E5s pushing into a potential crossfire. That is a disaster waiting to happen. As you can see, disaster happened. It's not waiting to happen, it literally happened. And it's just it's just a farming show, crossfire show from DST from that point on in. Like, no amount of focus fire will save you from that mistake. No, Nothing. No amount of focus fire was a mistake. Once you committed that deep as E5s and Crown Wagons, there's no going back. There's no turning back. There's no going back, coming back into this game. As you can see, a 2 to 3 trade, and your hit point is 4k down. Like, there's no going. Like, looking at this situation, there's no way of coming back. Like, there's simply no way of coming back, regardless of how you want to make it, how hopeful you want to make it to seem like. There's simply no way of coming back. I believe. So yeah, that was amazing gameplay from DSC. But I feel like the AQ7 went in just dropping the ball, like they're just dropping the ball very heavily from the first game till the last game. Like it was, I believe it was just something that they could easily worked on. You know, like you wouldn't be able to drop that heavily, unless you actually trying to fail so hard. Like I don't know, but like your team. Look at this. Look at this DST. Like the smartest part of this entire thing was not that they set the ambush, or nor NQ7 make the mistake. They bet on that. Not none of that. Look at this composition. If you see Narapi's, the S4 on the right, and Kang Wars on the right, and the mouse on the right, DST never have any of the tanks in the middle of the crossfire. They never. Well, technically, tank program should not appease, but that's really minor. Because if you compare that to what NQ7 is doing, Slimy Salmon and Blanks are both in the crossfire. Or even worse, they're in very tight brawls that in multiple angles they can get shot by multiple angles. But at most, their tanks are only shot by 2 different angles. Another piece, 2 different angles, Tank Pro and then Slimy Salmon, and perhaps Blanks a bit. But like that's still only 2 angles. The as for TCS, only can get shot from 2 angles. Happy Feet, Slimy Salmon, probably not even Tank Pro. Tank Pro got no shot at him. King Wars, probably Happy Feet a bit. Slimy Salmon, but it's only 1 angle. Like just literally just face your tank forwards. So like all DST did was putting their tank out crossfires and making sure the enemies are always in the crossfire. That was the brilliance of that focus fire. No amount of focus fire would save you if your tank is in the crossfire. That's it. Basically, if you're in crossfire, you win. You lose. You lose if you're in crossfire. And if you win, if you set the crossfire properly. And that basically was NQ7 stepping into crossfire. I don't think they knew where the entire DST team were, but not knowing them where they were was the most dangerous part of the gamble. And that basically what lost them the game. It was a freeze to a sweep. They got swept out the door by DST, and DST played brilliant gameplay today. Freezing GV and freezing AQ7. That was actually something new to see, you know. Freezing the Challengers champion. That tells a lot of things. That one, you are now top in material. You're actually very competitive to the point that you can actually compare. You actually start making a conversation that they're a top in material. I would say even probably teams like I would say even E7 might have slight trouble dealing with this sort of playstyle. If we're not be careful, like we're having a bad day, we'll definitely fall victim to DST in this sort of scenario. So yeah, congratulations to DST. They show us a very convincing win. You know, it was nothing. It was not really scrappy in any shape or form. Like yeah, it was really nice gameplay from them. And I loved pretty not every second of it, like most of it. Like it was pretty nice. So yeah, I guess that would be it for today's tournaments. Um, I would actually think about having I don't know, maybe probably a 20-minute follow up in just grinding the mission and stuff. If you guys want to, you know, catch up, then I don't mind, right? So yeah, you guys don't mind? I'll just go for it. Just let me set up this real quick, man. I'll just set up this real quick, and then we can go ahead, have some games going. Actually, let me take a very quick break as well. So yeah, DST did play it very smart, I would say. Like, there's no denying that DST played very smart. Um, and yeah, like, there's really no arguing for that. Like, you can't argue for that any shape, form. It was just NQE7 dropping the ball, but at the same time, DST playing absolutely brilliant gameplay.
Move out.
This thing actually is very big cupola. Holy shit. I sure would like to see this tank getting frosted up. This looks super realistic, man. I actually love it. We missed that shit. Let's go and punish you, yo.
Enemy hit. Enemy hit.
Oh look, it's covered in frost, nice.
Enemy armor is damaged. Penetration.
Aww.
Everyone get out.
That was sad. No, this tank is really relying on the aim. Because if you miss one shot, you're pretty screwed. Like, really screwed. And it's like no joke that you actually screwed.
Move out.
Yo,
One of our tracks
knew
is
it.
damaged.
Yo, what the hell?
Enemy hit.
God, why? Exactly what the name says, man. Why? Why are you bouncing off of fucking Vickers? I can't do it. I can't punish him, man. This is YOLOing. Bro, just go! Stop stucking me here. God damn it, you killed your own teammate.
We've had it. Everybody out.
Stop sitting in the middle of the road. If you guys just go, just go, man. You can't just sit there. Bruh. Alright, something a bit more healthier.
Move out. Tracks damaged.
Alright.
Enemy
And
hit.
so you're not even gonna shoot the tank that's on the hill and you try to put all your free shots with clip into the enemy.
We've hit
What?
them, but we didn't penetrate their armor. We've lost a track. We're stuck here. Drive on. Ammo rack hit.
Why do we have no
One of our
medium
tracks
tanks
is
again?
damaged.
This is actually ridiculous. Why do we have not medium tank? Bro, Wayne.
Enemy armor is damaged. Track hit. Penetration. Penetration. Enemy hit. Enemy armor is hit. Driver's injured. The driver's injured. We just dinged them.
Really? Are you just gonna bounce off a 50B like that? Really?
We've hit them, but didn't penetrate their armor.
This game is sad. No medium. The M6 just go brr. Kranvagen
Enemy hit.
just threw his tank away like that.
armor is hit.
Yeah.
Enemy vehicle destroyed. Penetration. Ammo rack damaged.
Alright, I'm fucking off. Instead of saying no, do something useful, man. Bring a proper useful tank to the game and do something useful. Instead of saying no all the fucking time, man.
Enemy. We're done for. Everyone get out.
Bring a 57 heavy, you can't fight for a hill at all. Like, what the hell are you even trying to do anyway? I also got 3k farm, but that was pretty stupid, honestly. That was pretty stupid, not gonna lie. It wasn't even worth it, man. It was not worth the effort.
Enemy armor is damaged. Gotcha. Penetration.
I mean, nobody asked you to bring a Jiru into a fucking fight, man. Into a goddamn ratings battle. Like, we all knew it's not a good tank for ratings, right?
Penetration. Enemy hit.
Now you hide. Or did he? No, he did hide. Well, this is the second yo. Yeah, never mind. The first show is gone.
Enemy armor is hit. One of our tracks is damaged. Enemy armor
Yes,
is
you can keep
damaged.
trading with me, but you know,
Got him.
you could try trading. I would not recommend though. Bro, what is this? Why? Bro, how is he being protecting? What the hell?
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Hey, finally a win.
Up and at 'em. Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy armor is hit. Hydraulics are down. We have to hand crank the turret. Enemy hit. Ammo rack hit. One of our tracks is damaged. Penetration. Penetration. We're immobilized. We fixed the track. Get going. Ammo rack down.
Bro,
Enemy armor is damaged. We had it. Everybody out.
you just need to stop flanking, man. It's not helpful. You guys need to play like a proper team, man. Not using jank tanks for the job.
Alla klara? Då kör vi! Kanonen är skadad. Den skjuter inte rakt. Avståndsmätaren är träffad. Vi dingar dem.
Bruh. Alright then, if I can't even snipe the cupola, what the hell?
God verkan i målet. Vi skrapade
Why the
knappt
delay,
lacken.
man? Stop the delay. Stop the shell delay.
Den gick igenom pansaret.
Now I can finally snipe this cupola after using calibrated. Bro, can you stop spamming HE? Actually annoying, man. I'm just gonna sit here. Wait for you to push me. Yes, you deserve a free slap. Bro, why you back off? Right.
Den gick igenom pansaret.
Did this K91 just go YOLO bait? Oh my fucking god, man. He's not even helping me with the E5. What a fucking brilliant player, man.
Fienden träffad. Föraren är träffad. Träff! Genomslag! Den gick igenom pansaret. Alla ut! Vagnen är förstörd!
Bro, this K91... Bruh. So I can't even win 2 battles, man. Holy shit, I'm going back to random. I'd rather play Yo in fucking randoms. Sheesh. Sheesh.
Penetration. We didn't even
What?
get them. Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy armor is hit. Enemy hit. Enemy hit. Penetration. Drive on. Penetration.
There we go. At least we won one more. I think I'm gonna call it a day there. Honestly, yeah, that's actually pretty plenty. I'll call it a day right there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It was a pretty good day of streaming. My throat hurts a bit, but like I pretty enjoyed it anyways. Thank you for tuning in. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow on the second, well, the lower bracket stages of the first group stage, and let's see how it goes. Bye bye. Have a good one.